And welcome to the Never Words podcast. I'm your host, Tom Brown, joined as always by my brothers, Jack and Tim. First three-way since after the Super Bowl, I think,
So why did you say as always?
because one of you always joins me.
Oh my gosh. You're Mr.
He's
Flimsy this
special
morning.
there.
Time,
Oh, I'm Mr.
recording,
Flimsy.
intro.
Okay. It took a third text to see if you guys would want to do this today. 3 texts. I didn't even get a response over the weekend. So,
We've
guys,
lives.
didn't
how are
text
you?
me over the
Other
Robust
than
lives.
other than other than the
Texted me yesterday. I was
animosity,
at work. You know I don't have my phone.
why? Bring
I
it
was
in.
out of work.
Huh?
Tom, besides the animosity, I'm fine. Everything's great.
How
Us too. The GI bug did not travel through the house. It was
I'm gonna give that another day or two, Tim.
that's
So,
fair.
Tim, what's going
Yeah, what
on?
was the situation there?
He just
He
threw
just
up all over the breakfast.
It was Tim's
It
driving. He got car sick.
I think it was the fishing. It was too cold.
Tim, how's the gym? Tell us about your what's Mondays for you?
It's Universal Chest Day.
Like
That
the
is true.
That's
I
all
do
I have.
chest on
machine,
Mondays too.
Huh?
the Nautilus machine.
I don't know what that
Free
is.
weights and
What?
Nautilus.
I don't
Well,
know
you
what
said
you guys are talking.
universal. What does that mean?
Like it's a
Everybody
lot of
does
people do
chest on
chest on
Monday.
Monday.
Yeah. You gotta
Oh,
It's a
rip your
good way to
chest
start the week,
apart.
make you feel
Yeah.
strong.
that's good.
Muscles be popping.
Well, good. I'm glad you're back in the gym. You look good. Those
Tom, before
GLP-1s
you
are
hopped on
popping.
here, I said to Tim, it's pretty clever that you call Carriage Town the gym.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that.
It is
That's
right
true.
next to Carriage Town, and one of the cooks also works out at the same time as me.
And do you
And then he
say what do you put
says,
See you at 11.
in
And
your
then he's
like?
probably
Yeah,
having a protein shake, and I'm having 3 stone faces.
and can you just maybe throw some
Judging
salt
by
in some
body
of your
type,
food?
that seems what's happening.
what's happening is we're doing a lot of front work. We're front loading a
Yeah.
lot of the lifting, and then we're just going to Carriage Town and wiping that straight away.
Yeah.
Guys, the NBA season ended last night, and
Tom's Mr. On
uh,
Topic today, huh?
so the
3
Celtics,
texts.
the Celtics were not what we expected. I went back and I was working this morning on the podcast, and I would listen to our NBA preview. And Tim, I have to say, through the slurring and blurry eyes, because we
Oof.
recorded that at night.
Oh, yeah.
So, and it was after
Who
a
knows?
Patriots game, so forget about it. Um,
Sounds like bad scheduling.
so Tim said he thought they easily were going to get above 43 wins. And Jack and I gave a little bit pushback. And Tim flat out said, and I think so because Jaylen Brown is a superstar. And if 2025, 2026 NBA season taught us anything, that is a fact.
So I remember that episode, and as we started to broach that subject, I said we are certainly going to find out how good Jason or Jaylen Brown is, and he is that good.
He's that dude. Tim, do you want to
Yeah,
take a
I mean,
victory lap?
the carrying them for 3 months, and now with both of them back, and even Tatum coming back and kind of taking the back seat because he sees how good Brown has been this season, I think is the biggest part of it.
Yeah, so in that OKC game, you could kind of see Jaylen Brown took over when they beat OKC a couple weeks ago, and Tatum still played great. That's the thing. Like the other night when they lost to the Knicks, he didn't have a good shooting game, but it was classic 2004 playoffs where he was rebounding and making every correct decision and playing defense. And people just want to say, oh, he didn't shoot well. It's like you don't shooting the basketball is not the only part of it. Um, so yeah, I think it's actually insanity that in his 10th season, Jaylen Brown went up to another gear somehow. Like, it's insane that he, especially with the people that are not eligible, he is going to be a first team All NBA player, which I, third team All NBA doesn't mean you're not incredible, but first
Mm.
team means you were in that season one of the best five players, and that's a fact about
I
him
mean,
this
I know with
season.
the eligibility stuff, like some people who are better probably aren't eligible, but I still think he would had an argument for first team, even if everybody was in a traditional on a traditional team, like
I'd
where
say
they're
it'd be
not
harder to make the argument to keep him off the All NBA first team.
right.
Maybe
Yeah,
besides SGA, you can't think of another guard who played the way he played better than him all year.
right.
Cade,
So
maybe not
Cade,
better, but I mean, Cade would have an argument because they're the
Cade's
one
up
seed.
there.
well,
But I
I
think he's
think
ineligible now.
it.
Yeah,
I
well, I
think
mean, it's not on the rundown, but that 65 game thing is the most ridiculous thing the NBA has done. These leagues like MLB, NFL, and NBA are so self-sabotaging at sometimes. Like it's unbelievable.
Well,
so.
and they're saying Luca has to appeal to an arbitrator because he missed 2 games to go see the birth of a kid.
You know, I
Mhm.
don't wish any ill will on Luca, but I just hope he doesn't get anything he ever wants. I just got a thing. I just
Right,
got
but
a big thing against him.
he's still
Honestly,
one of the
him going
best
to the
players in the
Lake
NBA.
him going to the Lakers was kind of perfect to be like, okay, good. There's always a little bit of like he's so annoying and complains, but like he's still awesome.
He's
And
just
that
on the
can all be
Mavericks.
true,
What
but
what can he do on the Mavericks?
right. And now that he's a Laker, it's like, good. Go full
Oh,
heel.
fuck
I
you.
don't have to
Ooh, I
like
don't
you. I
like
can
you.
appreciate you. Um, but I would say everyone completely eligible this year, alternate universe. You have SGA, Cade, Wemby, Jokic, and then you have basically Jalen, Luca. There's someone else I'm missing. I guess you could say Kawhi, but I don't know if he. I don't know.
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, I would. Jalen was better than Donovan Mitchell this year.
No,
I'm
I'm
not
just saying
gonna
he's
entertain
probably going to
that.
be third team All
So
NBA.
the argument that people would have is Luca led the league in scoring. So why wouldn't that guy make the all NBA first team? I just think overall this team should not have been a 2 seed, and the best player on the team should get that honor, especially with how good a season Jaylen Brown had.
And I know we're going to talk about it. I don't think it's controversial to say they're the best team in the East. Cade's out for the playoffs, so
Is he? I thought he came back.
I thought you know how I am with the internet. I thought he
Oh
had a
God,
collapsed lung or something.
he did, but I think he came back the other day. I think he came back early and played some games um, to get to 65 games.
Oh yeah, it does say he's
He
back.
qualified? Oh, I didn't know he qualified.
I don't
But
know,
yeah, he's back.
but
Yeah,
I still think
internet got me
regardless.
again.
Okay, hold on. I wanted to continue on our preview thing. So I said, talk about being wrong. I said that I thought the Cavs, Knicks, and this is where it gets ugly, and Bucks were unequivocally going to be better than the Celtics this year.
That's a tough
And
take.
the Bucks just fired Doc Rivers and might not have Giannis. And Jack, you added the Pistons, so that was correct.
And I think the
And
Magic, right?
you said, yeah, the Magic,
The
which
Magic had a bad year though.
the Magic need to break things up. And I said it
I
before the
mean, not as
playoffs
much
last
as the
year.
Bucks.
No, the
Right.
Buck. That
The
was
Bucks are in disarray, and there's like no way that like honestly, I just can't see a world where Giannis is starting on that team next year.
Oh, Cade
no,
had
I don't.
64 games. Wait, no,
Who did?
that wasn't this year. Hold on. Cade, yep, 64 games. That's tough. Unless Basketball Reference hasn't updated.
It would have.
Yeah, Jack, I agree. I think the Bucks are going to be in a 5 year irrelevancy situation at least.
Unless they can get a big score for Giannis.
Yeah.
who's been
Even
hurt
still,
for
even if
three
you get a
straight
bunch of
seasons.
draft picks, like that's not going to replace Giannis Antetokounmpo and Thanasis.
Yeah,
Right. You're going
you
to
know
lose him
Thanasis
too.
is going.
He's going wherever Giannis goes.
All right. So, what I wanted to talk about, I think the best way to do this in the East is, Tim, you mentioned they're the best in the East, and I agree. I think they're the favorite. I think they have the best chance to represent the East in the finals. But I think we did this last year. We called it the scare floor because I just got back from Disney when we were talking AFC teams for the Pats. I want to rank, but I don't want to do it individually. I think we should all collectively come to an agreement here. Who's the most scary for the Celtics in the playoffs? And we'll start with the 10 seed, the Heat. I'm not.
Keep him
I
at
Bam
think,
10.
Adebayo could pop off for 80 points. You don't know that.
yeah, that's
They
true.
didn't. The Wizards
Um,
didn't play defense.
I think Joe
Well, I
Mazzulla
think
might draw
what
something up different.
The Wizards, if they could, would have just rolled out 2-on-5 and just tried to lose down the stretch. That was
Yeah.
And said, can we?
the most obvious proof of tanking there has ever been.
Yeah, we are going to trade for Trey Young and Anthony Davis, and they are not going to play.
Ever. Never
And
gonna
if
play.
they,
What a bummer
you
for
know,
Trey Young.
I heard someone call
He's a good player.
Anthony Davis every other Davis, and I thought that was perfect.
Oh yeah, I heard my favorite is Anthony Data Davis.
Yeah, it's so good. So I guess we shouldn't just say that. Would you say the Magic are the team you're least afraid of for the Celtics? Because that is a potential first round. The Magic tried for a little bit yesterday, and Baylor Shireman scored 30 points.
I don't know why you're taking
Are we just talking
fireman
about
like that.
first round or overall playoff opponents?
Overall,
Because
just who?
the Magic don't register. That's Mike Wazowski walking in. Sully had to break the machine. Tom.
Okay. Um,
That's a
would
Monsters
you
Inc.
say?
reference for all the listeners.
The whole thing is a Monsters Inc. reference, Tim. It's a scare
I don't
floor.
think we're playing the exact same game. I don't think we should run
I
it
wasn't
back. I
on that
don't.
episode.
You
I
introduced
didn't
it
get.
that way.
I know, but I didn't get feedback from the fans about it, so we're not going to do that.
We get
Um,
feedback? Okay.
I'm
I've gotten
not worried about the
feedback from
Magic
Murph.
or the Heat.
I was
Yeah,
get, well.
Magic or Heat do not register. They are not a
What
scary
about
proposition.
what about the the 76ers? Because Joel Embiid just had an appendectomy, and
I talk about a guy who's just never available.
You
Never
had one of those,
available.
right, Tom?
I did. Do you want me to speak on it?
Yeah. Did it take 18 days to get better?
Did you return to MVP basketball levels?
Um, they actually told me not to go. Like, I asked them in the follow up. I was like, when can I like go work out and like do stuff? And they said a month. But I am not
Yeah.
an NBA player.
When can
Um,
I jump back on the Peloton?
no, I didn't have a Peloton then, Tim. Jeez, get your timeline straight.
He was in the gym
But
putting up 1,000 makes.
I'll say a couple things. It legitimately is. Luckily, I have not broken a bone, but it was the worst pain I've experienced in my life.
You broke your nose.
Yeah, it's not real bone, but um,
Tim exploded one of those testicles.
still, I mean, this isn't the platform, but I still have two. So let's let's stop the
You
rumor
want to
mill
keep the
before it
listeners
starts.
guessing.
Um, and then there's just exhaustion, but you have a major organ taken out, so
It's not a major.
It's not major. That's the reason it got taken out. Anyways,
um,
back to it. I don't think the Sixers are scary. At the beginning of the year, I thought Edgecombe was going to really be nasty. I love Tyrese Maxey as a player, but I don't think 1-to-1 the Sixers can run with the Celtics at all. Full
and
strength Celtics?
again,
I don't think so.
Maxi
There'll be an
he
annoying
got
game in
dinged
that
up.
series, though. Probably
An
two.
annoying
Sure.
game? Yeah, there
Yeah.
The
always
thing
is.
is
There's
this
everybody needs every series needs a sports a drive time sports meltdown game where they
Yeah.
can all say everything is falling. That's like whoever, I don't know which one of you guys said it earlier, but about Tatum. Whereas like if he shoots the ball poorly, that's all people will talk about.
Yeah, Maxi's back from his injury. Paul George is back from his suspension, which talk about you mentioned all the sports leagues earlier, Jack. So in the NBA, you can get suspended for PEDs or whatever it was. Some corners of the internet will say it was ketamine, but PED suspension and you can play in the playoffs. That's not how it works in baseball. I feel like that's the reason not to do steroids is to be like, oh, if you do steroids, you can't play in the playoffs if your team makes it.
Is that a thing in baseball? If you
Yeah,
get a 60-game suspension, you still can't, and come back, you can't play
it's
in the
80
playoffs?
and then a full season and then you're done. In the 80 and the 80 games suspension, you can't come back. If you got popped in April, you can't come back and play in the playoffs. You can play the
But you
rest of
can
the
come
regular
back and
season.
play in the regular season?
Yeah, but they're like, shouldn't have done this. Now you're gone for the playoffs.
Hmm. Well, maybe because
So
it wasn't steroids and it was ketamine, as you're saying.
maybe. But I mean, I'm not saying that. The internet is, Tim, and you love falling for the internet. All right, here's a good one. And where I want to know how you guys feel about this. I got to jump up. I've just noticed that one of my burners might be on. My house might blow up. Um, but the Hornets. The Hornets do scare me a little tiny bit. You scare me a little, but I don't think that the Celtics can't play them until the conference finals, so it'd be a while. But go
They
ahead,
were
because
they are a tough matchup for sure, and they're plucky.
Yeah, I was
They
gonna say feisty.
yeah, they're good, and they're one of those teams that can get like inexplicably hot, but I just don't see them beating them in a 7 game series.
I think
that's
they're too young. I think it's a too young thing. Like the Celtics
there.
have been here for 5 straight years. Like they're not going to get overwhelmed by a bad game and fall into their traps. I just don't see it with the Hornets. I also still don't buy into LaMelo Ball. He's going to
What
have
So
to
the
about
do it.
Con
last,
Canoops, man? What about
yeah.
Canoopal?
Uh, Leads the league in 3-pointers.
So
He's
Lamelo,
got that
it
going
was a
for him.
perfect example in the last game against the Hornets where everyone was there and everyone was trying, and the Hornets had like a 10-point lead in the third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, the Celtics were like, okay, you guys are young. You're exciting. You've been playing awesome basketball all of 2026. We're going to lock you down. And it was insanity. The Hornets couldn't hit a shot. The Celtics started getting anything they wanted. Jaylen Brown was like, I am going to go to the hole and get a foul call until you stop me. And it didn't happen. And the Celtics ended up winning by double digits. So I agree. Over the course of 7 games with a team that since 2018 has played in like 5 Eastern Conference Finals, I I trust. Also, that I don't think the Hornets are going to get through the play-in twice, the Pistons, the Cavs, or Raptors. So next up would be going in reverse order by seeds here, the Hawks.
Nope.
Playing a lot better since their Trae Young trade. Big surprise. But again,
What, a
a
guy with
7 game
50%
series
usage doesn't help your team?
when you're 5-4,
I don't know why we have to bring height into
Shots
this.
fired.
he's
Shots
an
fired
NBA
at Trey Young.
player
I mean, he's an all-star. He's a pretty good player.
Fans
that
vote
gets
in the All-Star game.
hunted on defense every playoff series.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Like,
I mean, then so
again,
does
it's not
Luca.
just about shooting threes and throwing lobs.
I get it, but I mean, he's still a good player. He's catching strays. But no, the Hawks don't scare me. No.
No.
Um, all right. Now, like Raptors, that'd be an Eastern Conference Finals, which I don't see happening. Again, just like all these teams we're naming, although other than Maxi, there's really good players on them, but there's no one that's on the caliber of like what we're gonna get when we talk about the Cavs or the Knicks
Yeah.
or the
Or, I mean,
or the
just to compare
Pistons.
to the Celtics, really on the caliber of a Derek White, let alone a JB or a Jason Tatum.
Right. So, th- yeah, I just don't see the
I'll be
Raptors.
honest, I mean, I've been watching basketball. I was surprised when I saw the Raptors were the 5 seed.
I think that you know what
I think
played a
the
big
East
part in
is a
that,
little
Tim,
muddy.
Yeah, I think
is
it's a
the
little,
bottom of the East.
It's a little muddy over there. I mean,
yeah.
The
Although
bottom of the Western Conference is pretty ridiculous as well too.
I
But
was just gonna say, other than the Warriors, every team in the playoffs has a winning record. So 20 teams in, 19 have a winning record. I think that's all right. We did it. That's good. Um, but okay, the Cavs. I think we all can speak on this because I genuinely don't think anyone plays better against the Celtics than Donovan Mitchell.
no, he kills them. They do have playoff kryptonite on their team that they added.
Yep.
Yes.
But I think the scariest guy on their team for me is Evan Mobley. If Evan Mobley plays like a big, then it is hard for anybody on the Celtics to play with him. I think they've gotten better rotationally at being big, but Evan Mobley, obviously Donovan Mitchell is the one who will kill you with points, but Evan Mobley does everything else.
I can't get over the Harden aspect. I agree with what you're saying about Mitchell and Mobley, but Harden's going to drag them down.
Yeah. I I also think they have like I don't know if Struess is still there, but they have like Dean Wade. They have these guys that come off
Will
the
spot
bench and
up
just hit
and make
threes.
shots.
And I swear, since he's been in Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell has taken over pretty much every third or fourth quarter he's played against the Celtics, and it is I he frightens me so much. I I don't think the Cavs were going to beat him in 2004, but when he ended up with a bad hamstring, I was like, okay, that's okay.
Plenty.
Thank you, huh? Oh yeah, 2000 or 2024. Yeah, you're right. Um, all right, and I think since we share some DNA, I think we all are on the same wavelength here. The Knicks are the scariest team.
Yep.
Yep.
Round two is going to be the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
It's gonna be fun from a basketball standpoint, but yeah, they're going to take the Celtics to their absolute limit.
Yeah.
I
The
honestly
Pistons
I will
will
not have
too,
I will have zero
but
fun.
yeah,
I'm
but
not
yeah,
gonna this I'm already dreading this 2 weeks.
Yeah. That's what I have down on my list because you said to list them.
Yeah.
Um, I
that's
went
what kind
Knicks,
of what we're doing.
Cavs, Detroit, but
Yeah,
like a
I would put
space
Detroit as
between
a
the Knicks and the
1A.
Cavs.
Detroit is good, but the Knicks are like they do everything well to combat the Celtics. And
Yeah.
like all five positions too, and the bench.
And you got last year in your mind, and it's just you're
Yeah,
getting the full 48 from the Knicks. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter what's going
absolutely.
on.
and they're a team that with OG, even with Shamit, who isn't like great, but if the Celtics are like, all right, Nemi's out, we're not playing, we're gonna put Tatum at the five, go kind of small. The Knicks can match him,
Mm.
Hmm.
and it's just like the Knicks assembled a team around Jalen Brunson and said, also, let's try and be able to match the Celtics in certain things, and they did it, and that's why to me they're the scariest.
Well, they like Tim
And
said, they also have the knockout blow against the Celtics last year.
right, so
Some
they
people
have
thought it
that.
was a championship.
Honestly, yeah. And then God damn, they won the championship again by winning the 80th game of the season. Did you see that?
Yeah,
I
there was yeah.
I was just like, what are we
Jalen
doing
Brown didn't
here?
even play.
Jalen didn't play, and then the next night the Celtics won by 40 points and secured Game 7 at home. So I was like, what? What were you celebrating? Like you you get the Hawks? I honestly don't know what it was. Good win. You finished 2 games behind them. Like or three. It's just mind blowing. But then when it comes to the Pistons, the only 60-win team in the East, Cade is that dude. Cade is incredible. Cade might be one of those guys who might be like Derek White can guard anyone, but a point guard that just has a lot of size on him might be a guy where it's like now we got to put Jaylen Brown on him or Tatum.
Mhm.
Um, Asar Thompson can lock anyone down, and Jalen Duren is a body type that this team has struggled with. Like, look at what Mitchell Robinson does to the Celtics
I
every
was going to
time.
say Mitchell. Yeah. And he's
So,
just better all around than Mitchell Robinson.
right.
He can
The
shoot free
thing
throws. He can.
I think that everyone has pointed to and is a fact, the opposite of the Knicks in the Cavs and the Celtics, no one scares you knocking shots down. Like, if you put Derek White on Duncan Robinson and say, don't let him shoot threes, then who's like, I heard someone say that the Pistons have won, was it the Pistons? Have won a handful of games hitting only 7 threes. That's just not going to work in the playoffs against teams like the Knicks and the Celtics.
Uh,
I
I mean, it slows down. I mean, I know what you're
the,
saying, but
the Celtics just hit 29 threes the other night. 29 and they average 11. That's an 18-3 difference. Jack, get those numbers? 3 times 18? 54?
What?
I don't. We're doing math now. I don't even know
So
what 54 means.
so I'm
You're saying they're going to hit
I
54
agree
threes?
with Tim. I would actually not agree with Tim. I would put the Pistons second because they have a an all NBA first team guy if he was eligible. Um,
I put the
but
Cavs second because of Mitchell. Mitchell's proven it.
yeah.
That's where I'm going. You said playoffs, like I'm thinking strictly playoffs. Mitchell has proven it in the playoffs that he will shoot the lights out.
Right, but some
Detroit
teams
hasn't proven anything. They lost to the
just
Knicks.
have a run. Like this could just be a
Yeah.
Pistons like
Yeah.
year.
And you
Yeah.
could get you they could just completely muck up games and all of a sudden it's game 6 with them up 3-2 in the Eastern Conference
Yeah,
Finals.
well that's another thing too. We did just do like Tatum played defense, he got rebounds, he made assists, but he shot like shit. There is the game where they come out and they just don't hit their threes.
Yep.
Hmm.
And
Probably
then
two
it's
of them.
like you probably in a, two per series, and you
Yeah.
probably that game is when you kind of like realize halfway through the first quarter, you're just like, uh-oh, it's not there today.
It is.
Yeah,
That's one
Tate
thing with the Celtics that you've seen for, I would say, almost 2 years now since Missoula took over. You
That's
can
their
tell
yeah,
quickly.
but
yeah,
that's
cuz they
like that's Missoula's MO, and he says it
Yeah.
like we're not the Celtics unless we're shooting that many threes a game.
right.
So
I was
like
just going
No,
to say
and it
that's his
works.
coaching philosophy. Yeah.
they're
But
spamming
when they go
threes,
down
so
their first three threes, you're like, okay, this is
It's
gonna
gonna be a
be,
tough one.
yeah.
no, what's a huge one always for me, and it kind of turned in that Knicks game because at first it was like, oh shit, here we go. Is especially when Pritchard's cold, it's like shit. That's the secret weapon off the bench. If he's not hitting, but now you got Baylor. I'm actually to the point when he shoots a three, I'm more surprised now when it doesn't go in.
Are you wearing a Pokemon Band-Aid?
They got
No, it's the
deeper
sun.
with Shireman and like I
Hugo.
don't think anybody thought Hugo was going to be as good as he was like this fast, but yeah.
Yeah. I think
Even
Hugo
Kata.
won't
Like
see the
nobody like
floor.
they were talking about Kata for most improved. I think he should be in the conversation.
Yeah, I would. I guess I wouldn't know who else would be most improved. It like that's he is the spirit of the award.
Right. It's not
Yeah,
in
I
like a
think it's for
first round
guys that
pick.
take like the giant leap from second to or first to second year. Could be Wemby.
That
That would be
Wemby made a pretty
ridiculous.
measurable jump from year two to
I
year
know, but
three.
come on. We
No, I know,
expected
but
it.
I'm just saying it could.
you guys
Is
didn't
he
respond to that
eligible?
text against the play he had against the Lakers, where
I don't think I remember it, Tim.
he was at the key. He took one step, did a spin move, and put the ball in backwards over his head.
The,
And I was like, this isn't fair.
the
What
best
does
thing
he
about
is he did he
what?
qualify? Is he eligible for awards?
Yeah, if you look, he has 64 games played, but the NBA somehow was smart enough to say if you make the NBA Cup championship, it's not an official game, but it counts towards the um, final stuff. So like Jokic last night had to play 15 minutes.
Yeah. He could be, I think Wembanyama could be like consensus, unanimous is the word I was looking for, all defensive player of the year. Like I get,
I didn't put that on the rundown, but I want to talk about that after the Western Conference. So let's go there because there's some good stuff. This is going to be fun. I actually am the one thing that sucks about Western Conference games is they start so late. So
Mhm.
first and foremost, we're
it's on the
having a
West
good
Coast.
conversation. We're having fun. We like basketball. We're excited. Are the Thunder just going to win?
No. I
You don't
think
think so?
it's the way you put
Ooh.
so I'm answering the question that's in your rundown. The rundown you have are the Thunder inevitable, and then are the Spurs ready? And then can Jokic carry the Nuggets? I think that both the Spurs and the Nuggets can compete with the Thunder.
How to
And
just
I'm
blow
telling
the
you what,
rundown up instead
I'm
of having a flow?
here. Well, it's like you're
They kind of
answering,
all go together.
yeah, and but I would say no, the Thunder are not inevitable because the Spurs and the Nuggets are right there. And you can also take some crazy playoff run from Ant in the Timberwolves too. Like that's in there as well.
They've been to back-to-back Western Conference championships, right? The
I
Timberwolves.
think so.
We'll get there. We're heading back up. I just think,
The Thunder are so
especially with
deep.
the way the second round
Yeah, of course.
played out, the Thunder aren't going to break a sweat until the or the Western Conference Finals. Everyone is just sitting around, probably in both brackets, waiting for the 2-3 matchup on both sides. That's what everyone wants. Spurs and Nuggets, Celtics and Knicks.
It's gonna be a good
So
week of basketball.
I mean, I'm like everyone else. I hate how Shea plays basketball, but he's good. If he has clean looks, he hits them. He makes the right plays. As a collective unit, you can't even dribble most of the time against them. There, there's a like them going back to back is in my mind probably the most likely possibility.
I don't, who's the last NBA team to go back to back? I just think it's like out of all the leagues, maybe with the exception of the NFL, it's the most um parody riddled one. Like,
The
uh,
the answer is the Curry Durant Warriors.
okay. Yeah, all right. Well, that's been a while since they played together. So I repeating in the NBA with so many 7 game series is so hard.
And the Spurs did have the Nuggets number this season, so that might just be a kryptonite. Um, so all right, let's talk
SGA is
Spurs.
the reigning MVP, but the Spurs and Nuggets have better basketball players on their team. I would take
That's
Wemby and
I agree with
Jokic to
that.
start a team over
totally.
SGA any day.
Um,
They're
trying to
pretty
think
heavy
here.
favorites to win, but it is
That
still plus money if we want to put some money down.
I'm not a better, but go ahead. So
Plus
the
950 for the Nuggets.
lay some money
no,
down, Tim.
that's
Bet
okay.
Saving
25.
Hold on a
all
second.
that Carriage Town lunch.
You're off Carriage Town?
No,
No, good. What are you having? Are you having
You
a
logging out of here and just going
chicken
right down
finger
there?
salad now?
no, I have to work today.
Oh, So only like 3 or 4
Um,
beers?
Two, three
so
beers.
so here
Up
we
a
go.
third tree.
The Spurs have Wemby in his third year. Dylan Harper is a rookie, and Stephon Castle is in his second year. De'Aaron Fox is a vet, a legit vet. Harrison Barnes, he's been there. He's got a ring. Luke Cornett, we all know, he's got a ring. It's just a question of, is it going to happen this year, or are they going to do what the 2024 Thunder did, where they kind of pushed the Mavericks? They were they were really, really good. People thought maybe they could do it, but it took them one more year.
Do you guys have any concern with the fact that Wemby all seasons played under 30 minutes and in the playoffs is going to have to play 40 minutes,
He's
No,
seven
I
six.
think
There's
that
45?
something to it.
I
There's something
no,
for him not playing
I think
40
they're
minutes.
probably I think they did that strategically to maybe save his body for those minutes, but no. I don't think there's an NBA player who cares more than Victor Wembanyama in the entire NBA.
He has actually, I think, changed the rest of the league because he started to kind of set a tone of I'm this good and I care. And then other
Yeah.
players were like, shit. We're used to those guys that were drafted in the 2000s being the best and being like, no, I don't care until the playoffs. Um,
Yeah.
I could see them beating the Thunder. I just, like you said, Tim, every other day for 2 months is a lot. Once you get out of the first round, you're just basically playing every other day. And yeah,
Well, it's good that
Wemby's.
the Celtics played every other day for the past 2 or 3 months, it seems like.
Oh
They're
my
ready.
God,
They're
I
training.
wanted to take a break. I wanted to take a break and just. I've heard people talk about the schedule in the past, and I haven't thought about it. Now I'm like, yeah, they need to lose games. They need 12 less games. But there's everything's in place for this Spurs team to do it except the experience, which is just kind of unprecedented for a team this young to do that.
But also, with that being said, Wembanyama is unprecedented on his own.
True.
So it wouldn't be like an insane thing. He's 8 feet tall.
Almost. He
No, I
legitimately is
know
almost 8 feet tall.
it's ridiculous. At the gym, you see the Sports Center highlights and the not jumping and dunking thing. You just can't. I can't get over it.
What are you on the elliptical?
Because you
That's
jump and you're not even close.
Yeah.
at the
You
we don't
can't
have a
jump.
hoop.
Yeah.
You
We don't have
and
a
you
hoop.
can't jump.
I can get an inch.
Josie just said
You
you
don't
can't
have a
jump.
hoop? You could put a rim on the side of Carriage Town right there by the Dunkin' Donuts drive-through.
Yeah, I bet the cook will play with you.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're the only guy that goes in there. It's not like
that's
he's
not true.
busy.
There was a
Uh
wait the other day. Not for me, but there was a
No,
wait for other
no,
people.
no.
okay, the next one is the Nuggets. Jokic is just like he hurt his hamstring, but he's fine. Or it was his knee. Everyone seems to be healthy finally, and when they're healthy, they're on a 12-game winning streak. Like they also have their best player is 7'4", which is only 2 inches shorter than Wemby, and he's arguably the best player in basketball still.
I don't think he got enough credit for his 2020 game. That is like
Well,
whatever
no,
the
I did
create your
because last
own.
year he had a 30-20-20.
That's still. This is these are ridiculous. This are video game numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
No one
nobody.
on
Yeah,
this podcast is going to argue
I'm
about
just
Nikola Jokic to you.
I'm
we're
just
we're
20
here.
assists from your. I guess he's your center, but that's insane. And Murray's
He
been awesome this season too. So
I don't know how the official scoring does it, but he finished with 9.9 rebounds. Does that count as 10? Because otherwise if it doesn't, he didn't average a triple double, but if not, he did.
I don't think they round up. I think that's why they go 9.9.
I heard
yeah, that's
someone say if you look at players like him, all around players like Magic Johnson, or if you want to say Russell Westbrook when he was telling guys not to rebound misses on free throws so he could bump his numbers up. But Larry Bird, LeBron, players like that.
Point guards are just catching strays left and right on this pod today.
Um, Tim, if you think those averaging
Russ
triple
Westbrook was
double,
an MVP.
I know, yeah, and he shouldn't have been. Um,
Oh my goodness.
so no, but I heard someone say that if you average their league ranking in those three big categories, it's like, like LeBron was third in scoring, but 11th in rebounding and fourth in assists. You add those numbers up, Jokic in those categories is like the lowest ever. His number is like 7 because he's like first in assists, second in rebounding, fourth in scoring, which is insanity to be in the top 5 of all of those.
Right. Yeah.
I thank
The West
God
is
for
going to
NBA.
be
Go ahead.
awesome to watch. Like the
Yes.
playoffs, it's just going to be. I'm looking forward to
And
it.
the craziest thing is no one gives the Nuggets a harder time than the Wolves. So this is going to be a great first round series. Like the Wolves, for some reason, are a horrible matchup for the Nuggets.
And I know, like when you take the Spurs, Thunder, Nuggets, I guess you can put the T-Wolves in there. I mean, Luka's playing in the first round.
Is
He's not
he?
playing
Is
in the
he?
first game. I think they said he was ruled out for the first game, but he should be back. You know?
I didn't hear
Yeah.
that, but I
I
don't
thought he would be
believe in the
back halfway through,
Lakers.
maybe.
I just don't believe in the Lakers at all.
I just think you
No,
can't really count Luka out if he's playing. He's that good. He's on
But
the same level as Anthony Edwards,
eh, yeah, yeah, fine. That's a good point.
and he
Um,
has a better supporting cast.
sure, but at the same time, I just don't think the Lakers and the way they're built are the team that can make that run through the West of all those other teams.
No, I'm
I
just
just
saying
want to.
adding to the intrigue of the Western playoffs. Like
Oh, okay.
I
I
want
don't
to
think they
amend what
can
I said
go
earlier.
through them, but
Jokic led the league in both rebounding and assists.
and
Isn't
he was
that the
fourth in scoring.
No, oh, that's total points. That's points per game. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. He fell to 8th. He
And he was
sucks.
out for what, 3 weeks? Is he eligible for stuff?
Yeah, he played yesterday for 15 minutes to stay eligible. He could only miss one game down the stretch, and I think they gave him a rest day, and then he was like, I can make millions of dollars more if I get first team NBA. So, uh yeah, the the Nuggets Wolves is going to be awesome. I agree with you, Jack. Especially if Luka's going to be dinged up. And listen, it's incredible what LeBron's doing at 41, but he's not going to carry you through a playoff series. The question is can the Rockets put it together? It's starting to make me think that 2022 season end of the game offense might have been a Ime Udoka philosophy issue because it is very similar to what the Celtics do when they're just like not shooting or passing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only difference is just put it in Durant's hands.
But that
Like,
hasn't worked because they're
yeah, I
making him
know.
dribble the ball up. Like, it's just, and the thing is you put it in his hands and everyone's like, he's going to dribble the ball for 8 seconds and then shoot it. It's easier to play defense on him.
Mm.
Well, good thing the Lakers don't play defense.
That talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about a coaching philosophy. That's a JJ Redick staple. Let's get a
I,
bunch of guys who don't care about defense, don't care about the effort, and I won't scheme shit for it. All right, have fun.
All right. Luca,
Shoot
Reeves,
your
just pass
threes.
the ball back to each other. LeBron, whenever you feel like you want it, just call for it.
See, I think that's part of the problem also is like you have Luca and you have Austin Reeves, but you also have LeBron James. And LeBron at times is going to say, I am I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
I'm not 27 anymore, but I'm still going to hold,
Although
control the ball and that
when they
he's
were on their
41.
run in the second half of the season, after I think LeBron came back from an injury before Luca and Reeves got hurt,
Injury,
he was
LeBron's 2 week hiatus.
yeah, well, he settled into being the third person on the team, and they were awesome for 2 weeks.
Yeah. And then Luca and Reeves got hurt, and now it's LeBron's team again. And he's 41. But all right, I wanted to ask you before we wrap up here. It's not on the rundown, but Jack mentioned it. Who let's go. I think there are three good debates, one for sure award. So I want to ask you the major awards. Start Coach of the Year.
Um,
I'd say Missoula.
yeah, it probably should be Missoula, right?
It
Nobody
should be
gave the Celtics
Missoula.
a chance.
They were
Yeah.
going to have 43 wins,
The
according to
person
Vegas.
that's going to get a lot of love is Bickerstaff on the Pistons because they won 60 games.
Sure.
But yeah, I agree with you guys that it should be Joe Mazzulla. They won 56 games.
Without
That's
their best player
that's
for 3 months.
yeah. Um, I think it was longer than 3 months, Tim. This
It
season
was
started in
longer than three
October.
months. Yeah.
Did you see
So
that Missoula said he doesn't want the award?
yeah, and it
Or he
would
thinks
be
it's stupid or something?
the
I
press
think it'd be
conference
great to
after he
see him.
wins it would be hysterical.
Yeah.
Uh,
He's a funny press conference, not just because he says funny stuff, because he's so blunt and like
weird.
purposefully aloof for what like
Y-
he thinks people want to hear.
Yeah,
The
and
one
then
about the Jaylen Brown injury and if he's going to play, have you guys seen that clip? It goes around all the time. The reporter said, "Hey, is Jaylen Brown going to play?" And he said, "Well, he's at practice." And they were like, "So is he going to play?" And he was
he
like, "I
just
don't know."
stares
We
at
both
him.
kind of just mumble, and then we shook
Oh
hands and
yeah.
he walked away.
Um, next up, runaway defensive player of the year.
It should be unanimously Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah,
Yeah.
When they
it's
play the
going to be.
stats on Nesson or um wherever, I look and I laugh every time because blocks is three. He has over three blocks per game, and the next closest is Chet Holmgren at 1.2.
Yeah.
Like it's just he's so much better at defense than anybody else.
Um, yeah, it's and you just it doesn't
He
even
had
have to be
10
that.
blocks in a game.
It's the
Yeah,
I'm in
he's
the
on
middle of the
quadruple double watch.
I'm in the middle of the court and then guys just start turning around.
Yeah.
So,
Key.
what do you think? Here's a very good interesting one. Is rookie of the year Cooper Flagg or is it Con Knipple who hit up like almost 300 threes?
I think there's an argument there, but I think it's going to be Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg had a hell of an end to his season. He
I
was a
think
points machine, and he became the first teenager since Moses Malone to score 50 in a game. Like that's going to play big with voters.
It should.
I
That's pretty impressive.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the way I look at it is in the history of the league in 6 years, do you want it to be like, oh yeah, remember when Con Knipple won the Rookie of the Year over Cooper Flagg, and Cooper Flagg's like the best player in basketball or second best because Wemby's going to still be there, but it's just one of
I
those
think he
things where you're like,
also it's a
you want to give it to Cooper Flagg.
I think it's that in the fact that he lived up to the hype. Like the hype for him was huge and he lived up to it. So like Con Knipple had an awesome season, but Cooper Flagg's been the number one prospect for what, 4 years?
Tim, why don't you have Kate? Probably best to have it in her algorithm. It'll match some of her other searches. When was the last time the NBA Rookie of the Year was two white American players? I'm sure she has similar content to that. So,
I'm pretty sure that's already in
Boy.
my algorithm.
Okay. Um,
um, and then okay, MVP.
I mean, I didn't
I,
take this opportunity to do it and name Roman Anthony as my projected Major League MVP. It should be Jaylen Brown. And if it's not Jaylen Brown, it should be Nikola Jokic.
The
wow.
Jaylen Brown case coming back. I did not expect that.
I just think that, listen, if we were at 43 games was the projection for the Celtics and they were around fourth or fifth, Jaylen Brown elevated the Celtics to the 2 seed the entire year. You're
Mhm.
talking about a fifth or a sixth team if they didn't have him.
If they were at 43 games, they would be the 10th team in the play-in.
So then, yes, he's the MVP.
Wow. We got our breakout video.
I would say Wemby. Because
You
I
know,
think the same argument can be made. The Spurs probably are still a play-in team without Wemby.
Probably less than a playing team. You're probably right.
but I
But I
mean,
want to be a filthy homer today.
Okay. I'm not even
this is
pushing back that hard against it because I semi agree.
this is my complaint all year, every single year in every single sport about this award. It was created in baseball in the 20s so they could give Babe Ruth an award, and they used the word valuable when they should have used the word outstanding because it's talking about that one season. And if you do the stupid valuable thing, if you take Wemby off the Spurs, if you take Jokic off the Nuggets, if you take SGA off the Thunder, all those things, they're all going to be worse. You're
Right.
talking if you're taking the best players in basketball off their teams. Like, so the valuable thing to me, like I always roll my eyes.
That's the award though. So
No, I get it. I think what dings Wemby honestly is even with the missed games by Shea and Jokic, he's still 400 something minutes behind them per in the season.
yeah,
And then I just feel like they're going to give it to SGA. I think it's his, but I think Nikola Jokic should have five straight. Like I'm
Yeah, the minutes thing is why I didn't pick Wemby. He is clearly probably the most valuable to any of his team or to any of the teams, but um yeah, I agree with you. Jokic still may be the best player in the NBA. Like top to bottom, doing a little bit of everything, it's probably Jokic.
all right. Well, guys, I think we did it. We accomplished it. Nice little three-way here between us. Um, the Red Sox have won two series in a row, and we're
here we
back,
go.
baby. So Celtics
Got to get their
start
pitching in line.
noon on Sunday, or one on Sunday. So they got a nice little break here. Rest up those Achilles and the. You know who needs it? Derek White.
Yeah.
Take 2 days
I would
I
off
say
mean,
the
I
and then
whole
like the
team.
spend
They
break
just played
5
because
back to
days
back
shooting.
games for 3 months.
like what you said, for the past 3 months, they've been playing every other night. They
Yeah.
can use this break and just kind of maybe take a little treatment, not play a game. And I don't know. I think the play-in tournament is a silly way for the NBA to just extract a couple of extra bucks in a high leverage situation, but I'm happy that it
I'm
gives them
gonna
a
be
rest.
honest with you guys. I think I will watch it this year, but I usually don't watch the games.
I I can't see myself doing it.
Why am I gonna watch the
I
Warriors?
can't
They
see
have a losing
myself doing
record.
that. Yeah.
Like
Well, they're going to be on
I
national
was
TV, so I'm going to watch them at work.
oh there you go. But I feel the same way, even though I've fallen off on March Madness. I never watched the first four and then the first eight. There's gonna be 80 teams in this thing, and there's gonna be a preliminary round for every matchup.
That was fun though. The
There were some good
Final
ones.
Four, or the I
I
guess
was
the was a good one.
watching the Duke UConn game, and then I was like, I don't want to see Duke win, and I turned it off, and that was dumb.
That was dumb.
I actually
Yeah,
after that
Tom.
I said, okay, that game might have gotten me back in.
The St. John's Kansas game was similar.
Yeah.
There was never like it. I mean, Kansas was never up by 20, but like the ending.
All right,
So
guys.
yeah.
I had a lot of fun talking to you, and maybe we'll have a nice little smoked country style ribs weekend together soon.
No, you keep
That
bringing it
sounds
up.
lovely.
You won't put a date on it. You're too busy of a guy.
Tim,
You're
when you want to
celebrating
hang
two
out with me,
Easters. That's a ridiculous way to live.
you want to hang out with me. You're not the
At
only
this
one.
point, I'm, this is still recording, so I'm gonna not say anything.
Okay. All right. Bye,
Wow.
guys.
That's the first time in the podcast history you've like taken the high road.
The high road. I still
I'm a
haven't
new
hit
guy.
Bye,
stop. You guys
Tommy.
haven't said bye to our fans.
Oh yeah, bye
Bye.
Murph.